Something that I love so much about Ben Johnson's system, honestly, is that the reason that you have the luxury of all of these weapons, and you can be versatile when it comes to these guys, and you can have these positionless weapons all over the field, it's because the offensive line is the biggest part of Ben Johnson's offense. It's why you saw the Bears remake their entire interior in free agency and even before with the trades, because that offensive line needs to be solid. And if that offensive line is solid, then you do have the freedom to move your players all around, to do really fun things with them, to even get offensive linemen involved. I've seen that so much from Ben Johnson. We've seen that so much from him over the last few years. So many of his trick plays and gadget packages include extra linemen doing crazy things like Penei Sewell throwing footballs and everything like that. So if that offensive line is solid, then that opens everything up to do all of these fun and creative and variety of things with your offensive pieces, with your offensive weapons. And that's why it all works. And I just respect the hell out of that with Ben Johnson.
Well, it's funny you mentioned offensive linemen throwing, and we're talking about positionless football, because one of the things that came up at Media Day today was that Darnell Wright was asked if he was possibly going to move from right tackle to left tackle, but sounds like maybe Darnell Wright has other plans in mind. Take a listen.
Well, they said I was going to quarterback, but no. We're really just training right now, just putting the groundwork in, so there's really no talk of anything.
Can you throw like Penei Sewell?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't have a really good arm. I don't know. I'll probably just take off.
Just take off, Darnell Wright. Just take off. I love that. And, yeah, we've talked about before. We know Ben Johnson's going to bust out the tricks. So hearing a guy like Darnell Wright talk about it, acknowledge it, hey, get that arm loose. Let's go. You got to be ready. Training camp's coming up.
I wouldn't be surprised if that is something that they decide to try out, or just identify which lineman has the best arm. That's what makes Penei Sewell one of those guys. I actually campaigned a lot last year for him to be in consideration for Offensive Player of the Year, because not only is he a shutdown offensive tackle, but he also does so many other things in that offense. He does tuck and run the football. He does throw the football. He does catch the football, or at least attempt to do all of those things, because he is so athletic. I don't want to put those expectations on Darnell Wright necessarily. I also don't want to put the expectation that he should move to left tackle on him, because that's not an easy thing to do, despite what guys like Tristan Wirfs might show you. Tristan Wirfs is the exception. He's not the rule, and making that transition from right tackle to left tackle isn't supposed to look that easy, and it's not supposed to be that good. So at this point, and Darnell said it, they're kind of laying the groundwork right now. The coaches can't be on the field with the guys yet, so they haven't gotten their hands on them to really figure out where the best positions are and who the best five are to be putting on the field in which area when it comes to the offensive line. But I'll be very interested when these guys do kind of get going and how they start to mesh and gel and play together, because that's something that we haven't seen the Bears offensive line be able to do. And you have so many new faces, like I said, about the interior getting completely remade. These guys haven't played together before. And so it's going to take time for them to gel and figure out, how to help each other, because that's the other thing too, that when you remake the interior with all these veterans and stuff, then when you do have the tackles that are younger or maybe not as developed when it comes to Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright, well, you're now playing next to guys that have played a lot of football, that are really smart, that have done this at a very high level, and that inherently elevates their play up and gives them somebody to lean on, both literally and figuratively.
Yeah, and Darnell Wright talked a lot about that, and he mentioned that when he met with the media that, this is going to be one of those first times where he's really going to have a lot of experience around him for him to lean on. And like you mentioned, the coaches can't really do much now. This is really more of a period for the guys that get in the building. They're not practicing like we would think or see in training camp. So this is really a time for them to mold, and this is time for them to blend.